Live. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So a lot of you on the live, not yesterday because I didn't go live yesterday, but the day before. So Tuesday's live. A lot of people were asking if I plan on doing like a Patreon or starting a Patreon, opening a Patreon, things like that. And I decided to give it some serious thought, to put some real thought into it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with like foundational building, if that makes sense, because I'm always talking about building a foundation, having a proper foundation when you're doing occultism, when you're doing magic, and having something on which your practice stands. It can stand up to scrutiny. It can stand up to criticisms. It can stand up to people just asking questions out of curiosity, and they just might not believe, just everything that you're saying. And then also you do want something on which your magic is based on which your practice is founded on, or else you're just doing pretty much chaosophy, which really doesn't have a foundation. So I think I'm gonna that's what I would put on a Patreon or something along those lines. I would probably start out with how to build a foundation. What are the core components? What are the core elements of having a foundational practice on which your work stands? And we'll start with things like we'll go way back to the beginning. We'll start with your cosmogony, not your cosmology, but your cosmogony. How did the universe come into being according to your practice and to your system? Who is God? How did he or they or it or she create the universe? Who are you? What is your place? And not you personally, but man. What is man's place in that universe? And why would your magic work based on your place within that universe? Why would your magic work versus doing anything else? So that would be the basic building blocks on which we will start, and we'll build from there on to how to properly build a foundation. And then once we get past the cosmogony and the cosmology, then we'll get to things like your theosophy, your theogony, and your theology. We'll get to God and this other spirits, if there are any, and if there's a God, and all that other stuff in your system, in your practice, so you can start to build a framework and work around it. We've got too many people coming into occultism who just know the practical stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, you should know how to dress a candle. You should know how to load a poppet. You should know how to properly, draw down the moon or whatever. Fine. That's all great. But do you know the underlying mechanics of what's going on? What if I saw what you're doing? I'm your little brother, or I'm your little cousin, or I'm a friend, and I see what you're doing, and I'm like, this is so cool, bro. What's going on? And you're like, I'm just doing things. I don't know. That's ridiculous. You should know what you're doing. You should know why you're doing it. You should know how it works. You should be able to answer those questions. No one is saying that you need to be a PhD scholar, writing dissertations on occultism and spirituality. No one's saying that, because I certainly can't do, well, I could probably do a dissertation on certain things, but I'm no master, I know everything, and I learn new things every single day. But my practice can stand up to scrutiny. My practice can stand up to criticism. So that's where I think most people should at least start. They should start there and build out from there. For those who were asking about a Patreon on the last live, I am looking into that, and that is probably the first thing that I'm going to do on the Patreon, is start out with building a proper foundation and building from there. I'm not going to lie, it'll be boring. Foundation building is not fun. Okay, it can't be done in a weekend. You're not going to be spiritual next week. You're not going to be a magician. You start Friday, then by Sunday, you're this super powerful wizard guy. No, it takes time. Just like anything else, and as above, so below. Just like anything else under the sun. You got to work at it. Why would occultism, why would spirituality be any different? Because Supernatural told you so? Because Sabrina told you? Because the magicians told you? Shadow hunters told you? Really? Scripted television shows told you this? Come on. Stop playing games with me. So, if I had, or not if, when I do start my Patreon, that That's probably where I'll start. We'll start with foundational building, and we'll go from there. Oh, I thought I had a bug on me. We'll go from there. So, excellent question. All right. Do you believe in unicorns? I do not. At least not in the physical, no. They might be like astral beings that you can wear. I've never seen a unicorn on the astral plane, but that doesn't mean anything. There's plenty of spirits that I've never come into contact with or seen and are, real and exist. But most likely not. They're probably just most likely something out of legend. But I'm sure someone could egregore one or thought form one or tulpa one. But we came out of the planet's boot holes. You mean the booty hole? Yeah, we did. Although, I don't know. There's I don't know. I don't even know. What am I saying? I don't even know if I can call it a schism, because a schism would presuppose that there's only two sides, like it's split down the middle and there's one side and there's another side. But in reality, in hermetics, there's multiple schisms. But there is a schism when it comes to emanationism, right? So there's the version of emanationism that would say that God, well, hold on. Let me just, so that way it's easier for me to, hold on, guys. Where's the green screen? Where's the green screen? Where's the green? All right. So there is a bit of a schism on how we Hermeticists would see the chain of manifestation when it comes to emanationism. So God, as I always say, God would be out here, the prime mover, the Ein Sofer, if we're talking Kabbalah, God would be out here. So emanationism, or at least the mainstream version of emanationism, would say God then proceeded to create the fixed stars, which would be this. And then through their ability of being a creation of God, they too can create. So technically, God did not create the planets. God created the fixed stars, and the fixed stars created Saturn. And then through Saturn, he created Jupiter, and then Jupiter created Mars, and then Mars created the sun, and then the sun created Venus, then Venus created Mercury, Mercury created Luna. These 7 planets created the 4 elements, and then from the 4 elements sprang life. That would be traditional emanationism from a Hermetic standpoint. However, I don't necessarily think it works like that. I would say God created the fixed stars, and then he said, all right, guys, move aside now, step that way, and I'm going to make these guys. Okay, can you move aside, please? Because now I have to make these guys. And then, all right, please step aside because now I have to make these guys. So I don't think that God created them, and then through their power of creation, they created the planets. And then through their power of creation, the planets created the elements. And then through their power of creation, they created us. And then through our power of creation, we can create. I don't think that's how it happens. I think God created them, and then God created them. Oh, you can't see my finger no more. And then God created them, and then God created them, and then God created us. So that's how I would say the emanationism would spring down. So I wouldn't say we came from the planet's booty holes. That would be a form of emanationism, and I don't know if it works like that. I don't know if I agree with that. But it's a very interesting theory. Very interesting. Excuse me. What are we talking about today? No specific topic today. Just doing an occult Q&A. I start working about 45 minutes, so nothing specific. What up, whitest black dude I know? Convene with any spirits today? Not this morning. I mean, other than my daily Ancestor and HGA work. No. And do people still do that? Whitest black dude I know? That was like a high school thing. Do people still do that? Like, do people still accuse races of acting like another race? Tell me, Alaskan Inuit is a race. How do I act Alaskan Inuit? Enlighten me, please. Enlighten me. Nah, God created everything. You tweaking. Hold on, mama, you tweaking. A bad bit. Pour it, a what? I'm tweaking. Come on, man. The only drug I do is the devil's herb. I ain't tweaking. I don't do no crank. This ain't 2008 Jason Statham's Crank. This ain't that. My name's Chet Chelioff, and today's the day I die. This ain't Crank. So I ain't tweaking. No way. I only do the devil's lettuce and a couple of psychedelics, but then I'd be tripping, not tweaking. Hold on, mama, you tweaking. No, I'm not. But I am high. So. Nah, I don't mean you tweaking in a bad way. Yeah, I know. I'm just having fun. That's all. I'm just having fun in the live. That's all. That's it. I just think God's so powerful he didn't need to create anything in a step. I feel like he just said be. Well, I mean, even the Bible, if you go with the Christian creationism, even the Bible says he created things in steps. He did everything in 6 days. On, this day he created this thing, and then, the next day he created that thing. So he didn't make everything all at once. He did take his time, and I actually don't know any creation story where everything just poofed all at once. Most things come in steps when it comes to creationism beliefs. I don't know any. I mean, I'm sure there is some cult or some deep in the rainforest group that believes that God just said everything and then poof, everything was here. But I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think God took steps. I think God took time to plan things out, and I don't want to say it was like steps. Like step 1, create the universe. Step 2, it's kind of dark in here, so let's get some stars. Step 3, it's kind of empty, so big balls of gas, and we'll call them planets, I guess. And I don't think it went like that. I just think God, planned it out. Was like, all right, let's we got a lot of empty space here. Let's fill it. We guys want to fill it with, I don't know, things. All right. Well, what are things? I don't know. Stars. All right. What about these things we call humans? Like where are we going to put them? On a ball? All right. Like, what are we going to call that ball? I don't know, Earth or something. All right. I feel like it went something like that. So Islam says that. Islam says that God just says everything and then everything just appeared. There was no actual creation. Everything was here all at once. Everything. Do you believe there's one? Do I believe there's one what? One God, you mean? Is that what you mean? Do I believe there's one God? Have you read The Shaman's Last Apprentice? No, I don't even think I've heard of that. The Shaman's Last Apprentice. No, I have not. Who's it by? Is it by anybody I would know? Do you believe there's one God or many gods created in this system? I believe there is one overall God, but I believe there are lesser beings and lesser deities under that one overall arching God. But I believe that one overall arching God cannot be known. You wouldn't be able to contact him, communicate with him. He or it doesn't care about your prayers and your beliefs and your whatever. It just is, and it's there's no way for us to get in touch with the essence of that deity, which is why there are lesser deities for us to be able to know God through and to be able to communicate with God and things like that. Does an omniscient being really need to plan, though? Well, that's assuming that he's omniscient. I wouldn't say that he's omniscient, or else we wouldn't be in the way that we are. Is there room for science and occultism? Of course. Occultism is a science. To be completely honest, back in the medieval times and the Renaissance, occultism was taught alongside sciences. So most students would have gone to academy. They didn't call it school. They would have gone to academy to learn mathematics, astronomy, and logic. And then you would also get courses on alchemy. You would get courses on astrology. You would get courses on Kabbalah and different types of esotericism. What you would learn would depend on the region that you were from. Not every place in the world did the same things. Yes, there is room for a lot of science. Most medieval and Renaissance magicians were also either doctors or scientists. They all were either astronomers or mathematicians or logicians or doctors of something or another. And their occult practice was more of a hobby. It just happens to be the thing that made them most famous. So yes, in modern times, we have plenty of scientists who also are magicians. I have several books by PhDs and doctors of different things. We've got Stephen Skinner, who is a PhD. We've got Dr. Stephen Flowers, PhD. We've got Joseph C. Lysiewski, PhD. We've got Jake Stratton Kent. I can't grab all his books, but here's just the one that's right here. PhD. We've got Dr. Angela Puka. We've got Dr. Justin. It's either Justin or Jason. Dr. Justin Sledge. So yes, there's plenty of room for science in occultism, which is why I talk about building a foundation. We don't go right to the practical aspects of occultism. We need the underlying esotericism and mysticism, which is a science. That's why back in the medieval times, the occult was called the occult sciences. It wasn't until modern times that the occult started getting this artsy, do whatever you want, be creative, and ooh, you look at the colors and all that. It used to be a very I don't want to call it dogmatic, but a very set in its ways science. I mean, look at Grimtrad. Grimtrad is a science. If you follow the instructions and you have your third eye open or your top vision open or your spirit vision open and you follow the instructions, you will get a manifestation. There's just no way around that. It very much is a science, and there very much is room for science in occultism. Excellent question. Yeah, but I feel like saying God had to take time to create everything shows weakness, and God is not weak. So, but it's not that God had to take time. What if God wanted to take, what if God just didn't want to make everything all at once? What if God wanted to take time? That doesn't mean you're weak. Like, if you know that a lion, it's okay. It's like in the animal world, certain animals will play with their food before they fully kill it and eat it. Why? You're this big giant bear. What are you playing with a little piglet for? Just kill it and eat it. The bear knows it can kill it and eat it, but it's choosing to have a little fun. It's choosing to smack it around a little bit and, kind of shit all over it before it decides to kill it and eat it. It's kind of showing a, dominance in like that case, but for some reason the bear or the lion or the monkey or whatever decided to just play around with its food before it decided to kill it and eat it. It doesn't mean that the monkey is weak or that the bear is weak. It just means the bear decided to play around with his food. And then the next time he might just devour something and eat it immediately, but that would be his choice. So we would have to know that God did not decide that. He just couldn't make everything all at once, and then so he made everything in steps. I don't necessarily think it was like that. I think God decided to make things in steps. So that's what I would say. He says BE, and it was. What do you mean? Oh, you mean from Islam? I think you said earlier. Islam. He just said B, and it was. Everything was here all at once. The Grim Reaper says farm. Huh? Like farming souls? I've been contacted several times by Jesus. I know he is real. So what do you mean you were contacted several times by Jesus? And please don't take this in a negative way. I don't mean this in that way, but what makes you more special than the 8 billion other people in the world? Why would Jesus come to you and not come to anyone else? Or even if he has come to anyone else, why is what you saw and what Jesus told you the truth, even though I promise you it contradicts someone else who also claims to have seen and talked to Jesus and that he came to them and also told them things? Why is your what Jesus told you the truth over what Jesus told someone else, even though those two things may and not may, they will contradict. I promise you, there isn't any two people who can say that they've been contacted by Jesus and they agree on everything that was said. Excuse me. Which occult book is the most worth reading to gain a better grip on your life reality? So that would be a practical book. That wouldn't be anything foundational. If you're trying to do like change your life. So you probably want something like The Sorcerer's Secrets by Jason Miller. He'll give you the truth about a lot of things. So you could check that out. Phil Hine, pretty much anything by Phil Hine. He's pretty much a practical chaos magician. Let's see, changing your life like directly. Probably both of Matt Oren's books, Psychic Witch and Mastering Magic. The Gareth Knight practical exercise or practical occult exercises and practice. I forget the title. Occult exercises and practices. That's what it's called. Gareth Knight's occult exercises and practices. And Stephen Mace's Stealing the Fire from Heaven. Those should probably get you on the right path to casting spells to change your life, like right now. You're not going to understand anything of what's going on, though. There's not a lot of foundational explanation going on. It'll be, no different than, using anything in the world today. Most of us don't know how to use 99% of the stuff that we have, but if it breaks, now what? Now you have to either go buy another one, got to spend more money, or you got to send it out and wait for someone who knows how to fix it, and then for them to send it back to you, when it would have been a lot easier if you knew how to fix it yourself, right? So, I would urge you to, I know, depending on your life circumstance, you might want to be in a rush to change things right now. But I would urge you to build a foundation first, and then go to the practical stuff. But of course, it's your practice. It's up to you. You do whatever you feel is best for you in your work. But I would suggest building a foundation first, then getting to the practical side, rather than doing the practical stuff and building a foundation. But that's just me. In Islam, we say Subhanallah, which means I believe Allah is above imperfection and taking time. And taking time to build something, I think, is an imperfection. Okay, I mean, even if God chose to take His time, that would still be an imperfection. So what? So it. I mean, that kind of logic makes God sound like a robot. Like He can't make decisions. He's only on go. There's no point where He goes, wait a second, maybe I don't want to do this. I want to do that. He's just always a straight. There's no stopping. I don't think God is like that. I don't think God is this program that just goes forward, never turns left, never turns right, never stops, never circles back. I don't know. I think God does decide to do things. I think as above, so below. I think if we have choice and we can make decisions, I think God can make decisions. So I don't know, but that's a very interesting take on things. I want to try to connect with the gnomes, but I can't find any books on sources on working with them. That's because most of the work on the elementals as spirits are classical. They come from us. They come from, they don't come from Grimtrad. They come from Western esotericism. They come from Western ceremonial magic. You have to study the classical text. You have to go back to like the 3 books of occult philosophy and stuff like that in order to get any practical knowledge on them. I mean, that's not to say that there aren't any books. I'm sure someone somewhere wrote a book about working with the elements and the elementals and stuff like that. But to learn of them from their classical form, you have to go to the classical books. So they'll talk about the gnomes or the pygmies, and they'll talk about the salamanders, which never changed their name, and they'll talk about the sliffs, and they'll talk about the undines or the mermaids. I'm trying to think of another book outside of the 3 books. No, that's fairies. Depending on who you talk to, Some of the elementals might be considered fairies, such as the gnomes. I was going to suggest the Book of Oberon, but that's more fairy stuff than anything else. But I guess you could check that out. Yeah, I can't think of any modern text that would, at least off the top of my head. I'm sure I can find one, but like in my drive or something. But what I would suggest, since you're not going to find much writing on them, is if you have Totwa cards, get the element of Earth, whichever one you prefer. Well, okay, that's with the Western Totwa deck. So get the element of Earth and project through that, scry through that, and that'll take you to the elements of Earth, the realm. That'll take you to the realm of Earth, and then from there you will meet the gnomes or the pygmies, and you can go from there. You'll meet a guide when you first get there. Unless you have a guide, you'll meet a guide when you first get there, and then you can ask them to point you in the right direction, and you should be good to go from there. I don't know of any books that talk about working with them off the top of my head. I don't even think the 3 books of occult philosophy talks about working with them. It's more just of what they are, and like how being. If you recall the green screen that I showed, being that the elements are pretty much right here with us, they're on Earth with us. They have a life similar to humans. They reproduce, they sleep, they have children, they eat, they have lives, so to speak, according to the classical text. So you won't learn how to work with them from the classical text. You'll just learn about them. So I would suggest projecting to them or scrying their realm and getting a guide and going from there, working with them directly. Because there's not, at least off the top of my head, I can't think of any books that go over the elementals. I just forgot the name. CERN. I don't understand the issue with CERN. This is kind of like what I was talking about the other day, how I feel like a lot of these conspiracies are just distractions. A lot of these conspiracies are just distractions, for lack of a better word. They're things that we are never, ever going to get an answer to. So they just keep you going around in circles. In occultism, at least in Western occultism, we call that mental masturbation. You're just going, it feels good in your mind to think about, oh, wow, are they really opening it feels good to have a discussion and a debate about, sir, they're not opening a portal. You don't open portals with science. You open portals with occultism. You don't build a device that spins and then portals open. Like, this isn't a movie. This isn't Hollywood. This is real life. It's not how you open portals. I wish it were. I wish it was that easy. I wish all I needed was $1 billion to build the Large Hadron Collider and press play, and then portals are open and I jump through, and now I'm in some world where I'm, some wealthy king god lord. I wish, but it's not. Don't you think they would have jumped through? Don't you think we would be on some planet or in some other realm or some other world if they were opening portals? Don't you think? Or there'd be monsters coming through and we'd be living in some video game or something? Don't you think that's what would happen if they were opening portals? Or you think life would just go on? They would just go, portals open. Okay, cool. Next. You think that's how it is? No. If they were opening portals, either something would be coming through or we'd be going through. Those are only two options. Portals don't open and nothing happens. They just go, all right, portals open. All right, good job, John. All right, lunch. No, it's not. That's not how it is. Opening portals is not a regular mundane thing. Either something crazy comes through, or we go through, and we either don't come back, or we go back and forth, and now we can time travel, and visit other worlds and all that. You know what they're doing over in CERN? They're trying to understand the Big Bang. That's all that they're doing. They're trying to recreate the Big Bang in a controlled environment. They're not opening portals, trying to talk to demons. They know how to talk to demons. It's not opening portals through some spinning device with red flashing lights. What? That makes for a good sci-fi movie. Great. Yeah, sure. $300 million box office. Yeah, sure. It's not real. It's Hollywood. And guess what? It's keeping you distracted from the real shit. While they're passing laws, doing real shit, taking away rights and shit, We're worrying about, are they opening portals with the Large Hadron Collider? No! They're not. That's not what's happening. They're trying to recreate the Big Bang. That's it. There's people here on TikTok who go live, literally at the Large Hadron, not outside the building. Oh, I'm here, guys. The conspiracy time. No, real scientists in the Large Hadron Collider, live on TikTok. What you see the whole thing. You see the whole Hadron Collider. Zoom, 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 zoom. You see it. Do you see a portal opening? No. Do you see people standing around in hoods going, Lucifer, Satanus? No. They're doing science. It's men in hard hats with notepads doing equations and formulas. It's science. There's no magic going on. They're keeping you distracted. It's ridiculous. And you're falling for it. You're falling for it. They got you right where they want you. It worked. They got you. Well, enjoy. Something only humans have to do. Something on. You mean the what were we talking about? The choices, the decisions. Well, then that would mean that we're not made in the image of God then. So do you believe in the traditional attributes of God, omnipotence, omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence? No, at least not. You mean like the all overall, all created God? No. I don't think any deity or any being is all knowing. Gnomes are real and feisty, indeed. Well, I don't know if I call them feisty, but they are indeed real. They're very. I think one of the reasons why why a lot of people might consider them closely related to the fairies is because they're very mischievous. So why do you refer to God as a he and not a she? That's just the traditional nomenclature for God. God is generally considered a masculine pronoun, so that's just what I go with. But I wouldn't consider God as having a gender. I would consider it an it more than a he. But he is just traditionally what we've gone with, and for ease of conversation. Old magic is modern science, but there is still magic. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would say modern science might be considered magic back in the day, like just me being able to take a picture on my phone. If I took my cell phone back 300 years, I might not be able to get any service, but I can still play the games, and because I still have the device. So the device went back in time with me. So the device itself would work. I wouldn't be able to charge it or anything unless it was solar charged. But I could still use the games, and I could still use my camera. So I take a picture of someone and show it to them. They'll think I captured their soul. But we'd be like, "What, bro? I just took a picture of you. All it did was like it's a flash, and that flash burned an image onto the screen. That's it. There's no soul. I mean, there is a soul, but I didn't capture your soul. But they would call it witchcraft. But I wouldn't say ancient witchcraft is modern science. But I would say that modern science would be considered witchcraft in ancient times. But I wouldn't flip it around. When you close your eyes, can you look far enough into the blackness to see eternity? That just sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. But do you mean like, can you scry with your eyelids? Some people claim that you can. I prefer using a scrying device, but some people claim that you can do so. How do I access pineal? Do you mean like, how do you open your third eye? You mean? I recommend just doing divination, just practicing divination. You're not going to get any success or any results with it, but it'll force your third eye open. Rather than doing the meditations and, all of these exercises and things to slowly open your third eye, just force that bitch open. Just start scrying, start trying to project, start trying to, read tarot, start trying to read runes, and just force your third eye open. It'll open way, way quicker. For the right in the discovering guiding spirits, is it like a manual on how to do it? No. I perform it for you, and then I provide you with the names, the attributes, and the sigils of your guiding spirits that are currently walking with you. And then I provide you with a simple bell, book, and candle ritual to contact them. So that way you can verify for yourself that they are indeed legitimate, which is something that the New Age doesn't do. They just tell you, oh yeah, Michael is your guardian spirit. Sure, the Archangel Michael, and you just got to believe it. rather than contacting the spirit and finding out for yourself. Not only do they exist, but that they are your spirit. So that's what the guiding spirits reading is. I perform the ritual with the information that you give me. I get the names, the sigils, and the attributes of your spirits, and then I provide you with the bell, book, and candle ritual to contact them. I'm going to start booting up my workstation now. For those of you who are in my lives often, you know I start work in 20 minutes, so you guys will see me look this way and turn my chair a lot. It's because I have to sign into a million different systems because I start work in 20 minutes. But continuing, let's see here. But omnipotence necessitates efficiency. Yes, but that doesn't remove the ability for a being to decide. I mean, why can't God make a choice? But anyway, faith, that's why. Your faith bonds you with Jesus. How, what do you mean? Faith, that's why what? Faith, that's why what? What do you mean, faith, that's why? How do I manifest? I have a video, one of my very early videos. I talk about what manifestation truly is, which is nothing more than watered down, severely watered down. You know, when you go to McDonald's, if you eat fast food or any fast food place, and you ask for a soda, and you get a watered down soda because it's the last, like the bag in the soda machine is empty. That's what manifestation is. It's watered down. It's the McDonald's bottom barrel soda of occultism, watered down occultism. Just like everything else within the New Age. If you want to manifest properly, you need a few things. Do I still have my board from back then? If I do, I probably erased it. Let me see. Oh, no, I still have it. I still have it. From about a year ago, I started posting content on TikTok, August of 2021. So it's almost been a year since I posted, and forgive my male handwriting. I write like a man who never went to school. How to, maybe I should, there we go. How to do magic. All right. So, this way. Sorry. All right. So, how to do magic or manifest, really. So, this is all the New Age says you need. This is it right here. Intent. That's it. Just intend. Well, guess what? I intend to be rich. That's my intention. So, I'm still sitting in this house. Hold on. No, still got a Chrysler out front. Okay. Let me check my bank account really quick. Still less than 10 grand. All right. That intention didn't work. So now what? Well, I'll show you now what. After you have your intention, now you need your materia magica. You need your magical tools and your magical items. Things like, I don't know, I'm not going to show you my altar because you're not supposed to do that, but I'll show you some items on the altar. Things like a table of practice. Things like, I can show you the bottom. I'll show you the bottom. Hold on, let me turn this way so you don't see the top of the altar because I have work on my altar, but we'll turn this way so you can't see the top. So the bottom, we've got a bunch of tarot cards. These are all tarot decks and things like that. You almost saw the top. Tarot decks and stuff like that. We've got bone kits right here. We've got flying ointments. We've got a bunch of other stuff down here. We've got candles and we've got incense and we've got my scrying device in here. We've got my sigils, all the sigils that I use in here. These are all materia magica, magical tools, magical items, other things that are needed. Over here on this side of my altar, we've got all my oils and all my balms and all my salvas. Down here, we've got more candles, we've got washes, we've got incense, we've got my scrying mirror right over here. Materia magica. More things than just your intention is needed in order to properly do magic. But don't tell that to the New Agers. All they say you need is just intent. You just need intent. And then that's it. Everything just manifests from there. Intend to get a new job, guys. Don't do any work to get the new job. Just intend to get the new job and boom. You got the new job. You want to get a date? You want to find a girl? You want to find a guy? Just intend. That's it. Intend to find a mate and one will fall right in your lap. Put it on your vision board and poof, out of the sky, Michael the Archangel will descend with your mate. Shut the fuck up. And let's look at number 3. The Voces Magicae, the magical voice, the chants, and vibrating sacred names. When we look at, Let me grab the Goetia here. That's probably the best example of vibrating sacred names. So when we look at conjuring demons or spirits, let me get to a conjuration here. 1 second. Here we go. All right. So let's take a look at the constraint. So this is the constraint for when the spirits do appear, and now you need to constrain them to obey to you. I'm gonna try to. Where is it? Right here. Okay. All right, right here. What does it say? O thou spirit, N, which is the name of the spirit, by all the names aforesaid, and addition by these 7 great names, wherewith Solomon the Wise bound thee and thy companions in a brass vessel. And here we go, the sacred names. Adonai, Prie, Perai, the Tetragrammaton, Anaphaxiton, Anapheneton, Inasunfotal, Inasenfatal, and Pathmuman, or Parthatuman. Those, you would vibrate those. You would chant those. Vibration is like Adonai, Tetragrammaton. That's the magical voice. That's the Vocis Magicae. Chanting, vibrating sacred names. Let's continue. You also need timing, planetary hours, planetary days. We can even go down, we can even narrow it down all the way to planetary minutes and planetary seconds, although I don't know too many people outside of maybe the gentlemen of Jupiter who use planetary minutes and planetary seconds, but you can if you so choose. They're there for you to utilize. But timing does matter. Doing certain spells and certain rituals on the appropriate days. While you can certainly cast any spell on any day, doing a curse might be better done on a Tuesday, which is the day of Mars, which is the day of war, or a Saturday, which is the day of Saturn, the day of destruction, and things like that. A love spell, you can do it on any day, sure, of course, but it's best done on Friday, which is the day of Venus. Or if you're going to do it on a Tuesday, it's best to do it in the hour of Venus. If you can't do it on the day of Venus, it's best to do it in the hour of Venus. So timing does matter. And then the very last one, location. Where are you going to be doing your magic may depend on the type of magic that you're doing. For example, necromancy is best done in graveyards. If you're going to be working with the genius Loki, it might be best to do it outdoors, maybe in a wooded area or something like that, or the desert or something. So in order to manifest or to do magic, which is what you really meant to say, because manifestation is nothing more than just watered down magic. In order to do magic, you would have to have all of those components, and they would have to work in unison. The only one that may not be required all of the time is the Materia Magica. That's the only one. Hold on, I have a 2-factor. 413527. One minute. All right, cool. All right. Christians really do come off very narcissist with their mindset. No offense. I don't take any offense. I'm not a Christian. So what makes Paul so special or experience true? What do you mean, Paul? You mean from the Bible? Most scholars don't agree with Paul. So I don't know. But what do you mean his experience? Just asking, what makes you believe something is the truth or not when it can be validated by experience? Cast a spell on me. Okay. I just did it. I just did just now. I intended to cast a spell because that's all I need, apparently. So I intended to cast a spell on you, and I did. So that's all I need. And I don't have to prove it to you. I don't got to prove it. According to the New Age, you just got to believe me. You got to take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Nope, you're a bigot. And you are forcing your beliefs on me. Stop! I stand in my power. I stand in my love. Michael the Archangel surrounds me. There. Have you ever experienced samadhi with eternity? No. No, I don't. I don't practice anything that would allow anything like that. We are God. We are made in the image of God. We are emanations of God, but I don't know if we are God. What about if we are trying to remember our dreams? The best thing to do for remembering your dreams is the minute you wake up, if you have a dream, write it down or put it in your notepad on your phone or something like that. Like, don't wait till later in the day or don't wait till after you shower and eat breakfast because you will forget. The minute you wake up while you're still lying in bed, you want to try to write it down. That would be the best way to try to remember your dreams. If you mean like a magical way, like is there an occult way, you can work with the element of air and the planet Mercury. They help with memory and things like that. But in reality, just write it down. Don't be like the New Agers and try to make everything in life is magic. No, sometimes life is just life. Sometimes things just happen that are outside of your control. Not everything is magic. My friend had an experience with the Fae. They lost 2 years of memory from their life. Sheesh! What was the experience? Like, did they go into a fairy ring or something? I've always, like, as weird as it sounds, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to go so deep in the woods that I find a fairy ring, and then I pass through it. And then I come back, and everyone's like, oh my god, you were going for like 12 years! And I'm like, guys, it's only been like 10 minutes. And then they're like, no? Don't you see? We're all old now. So... All right, we got 7 minutes, and I got 30 messages here, so let me scroll down here a bit. As in guide, you mean psychopomp? Yes and no. A psychopomp is usually a guide for the dead. What the hell was that? My computer beeped, but I didn't get no message. Nobody sent me anything. All right, whatever. Psychopomps are usually for the dead. That's usually for guiding the dead, so... I mean, if you prefer that term, sure, but semantics do matter in occultism. So a psychopomp is a guide, but specifically a guide for the dead, or through the realm of the dead. I can't say it's for the dead. The living can use psychopomps too, but it's for the realm of the dead. They're just studying particles that will help us understand our universe. Yes, that is correct. Thoughts on Enochian? I'm studying it right now. I'm studying Enochian right now. I've got Aaron Leach's, I just got these the other day. I'm studying his Angelical Language, Volume 1, and I hope it doesn't knock down all of it, because these are the two books holding up the top shelf. I hope the other books don't fall. And Volume 2. I got Volumes 1 and Volume 2 of the Angelical Language to start studying Enochian properly. This one goes through sorry, I have to keep looking up to make sure nothing's going to fall. This one goes through the calling of the angels and like the actual ritual format that John Dee and Edward Kelly did. And then this is like a dictionary. This is like thick. This is like a dictionary of the language. I haven't started this one yet. This is like a dictionary of like the language of Enochian. So... yes, I'm currently studying that right now. Let me put these back up before anything really fall. The rest of these books fall down. The top shelf isn't really held up by... it's all like paperback up there. There's only 3 hardbacks, and I have to keep them, on the edges so that way the books in the center don't fall. Because the edge of all my bookshelves aren't, like, they're not enclosed, so... all right. Holy crap. I still have like a million things to sign into. Hold on, guys. I have to sign into at least my important stuff, because I only got 5 minutes, and it usually takes about 5 minutes to sign into everything. So give me 1 second here. I'll try to be ASAP Rocky on this. Come on, man. Open up. There we go. Jeez. The internet want to be slow. Come on. And we'll do this one. I'll just log into these 3. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, let me just do this one last two-factor. 260471. All right, 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 all right. Okay, now, ladies, I want to see your baddest behavior. Lend me some sugar. I am your neighbor. All right, I should be okay. All right, all right. We got 20 more. All right, let me skip down here a little bit. Let me skip. I made gambling lucky oil yesterday. Wow, awesome. That's awesome, dude. I wish I made my own oils and stuff. I don't. I buy all mine. The only thing I have that I made was my circle, was my first circle, the 12-foot circle I showed you guys. Well, not in this live, but in a live before. All right, here we go. Stop right here. What do you think of Ramana Maharshi? I don't know. I've never heard of Ramana Maharshi. Oh, wow. Thank you for the presents and the roses, the alchemical seed. Thank you for that. Intention is the strongest of seats of the soul. What do you mean by that? And what do you mean seat of the soul? What do you mean by that? I can't say in occultism, in witchcraft and in the neo-shamanic practice that I follow, we believe in a triple soul. So what do you mean the seat of the soul? We believe that you can seat souls, if that's what, but that's a whole different, that doesn't even mean anything of what you're trying to say. So, good morning, Shane Luker, 1931 or 931. Was Enoch a real person? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really seen much evidence against there not being a historical Enoch. I even think there's even some contention that at least the first book of Enoch, the Ethiopian book, was written by him himself. But I don't know. The history is like on that, so I don't know. But Metatron is real. I know that, but I don't know if Enoch was. And I never asked Metatron the 2 times I've spoken to him, like evocation manner. I've never, because there's no need to contact me. He's not the angel that everyone thinks he is. Like, he's not the I am Metatron, teacher, yeah. Like, he's not. He doesn't even fight. He's not a fighter. He's a writer. He's like he's the secretary of heaven, if there was one. So I don't understand why people give him this Metatron. Like, he's not. That's not who he is. He's not like the Mike Tyson of heaven. Like, that's what people think he is. He's not like the big guard of he's a writer, guys. He's more akin to Hermes Trismegistus or Thoth. He's more akin to wisdom and knowledge and writing than he is to fighting. Hold on, my sister sent me a text. Okay, I'll respond to that once I get off. Since I'll be getting off here in about a minute. Let's see. Aaron Leach is good stuff. Yes, he is. I love Aaron Leach. I have several of his books. The one that I really liked, which really started getting me into like mixing hoodoo with Grimtrad, is his Grimoire Shamanism. And then that introduced me to Conjure Codex, which introduced me to Infernal Conjurecraft, which then gave me permission to syncretize ADR with Grimtrad. Jake Stratton Kent was kind of the first to give permission to do that. But anyway, how can you properly read birth charts? I don't know. Astrology is not my thing. I do not do astrology. Do you watch anime? Not really. I don't really like anime. I'm trying. I just got done watching Shaman King, but it was too juvenile for me. And now I'm watching Bastards on Netflix, but it's too it's too big booby teen girls, and it's like, why? What's with that? Like, why are you 12 years old but you got big? What is that? That's weird. I don't like that. I don't like anime's weird fetish and the fetishism of children. That's weird to me. I don't get that. So I'm not trying to be mean to anybody who likes anime. I just don't get why these are high school kids, but yeah, her boobs are literally in my face. They're literally like, hi. It's like, yo, you're 16. Like what's going on here? Get me out of here. So no, I don't do it. I don't do it. For the Bell Book and Candle, is it a manual or do you ship stuff for it? No. It's a manual. I mean, it's not really a manual. It's maybe like 3 pages. It's like a PDF, three pages of a Bell Book and Candle ritual to contact your guiding spirits. He's not like a transformer from heaven. Nope. He's just a writer. He's just a writer. He's just a writer. He's the scribe. He's the scribe of heaven. He logs all the minutes. Every time God calls a meeting, he logs the minutes. You know, like if you work at a corporation and you are part of the meetings, they have to log minutes. So he's the logger of the minutes. Not really. He doesn't really log minutes, but he is the writer. He is the scribe of heaven. All right, it's 11:01, so I gotta go. Thank you guys for being here. It was a great live. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the follows and the likes. I appreciate it very, very much. I may go live tonight. Depends. I don't know. But we'll see. But anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you next time. And as always, seek the mysteries. Peace.